Now, if you think about that, it's just the numbers mind-boggling. COVID's beating a lot of people up. Everybody puts on some weight. Everybody starts eating a little bit less healthy. They're a little bit more sedentary. Well, this year is a big time for you to refocus your efforts on being healthy. I'm trying to be my best Rob, my best self. And one way to do that is to fill those gaps in the diet and come up with something that's not a short-term solution. A lot of people, they have a health scare. They take a short-term thing. They start dieting for a month. They diet for 6 months. They don't take that life change that's going to help them better their life in the long term. Well, that's where today's video sponsor, Ritual, is here to help. Even if you try really hard, go all in on a diet, you still might not be getting some of the key nutrients that you need from your food alone. Ritual is formulated with key nutrients including vitamin D3 and omega-3 DHA to help fill those gaps in the diet. Their fresh-tasting, delayed-release capsules are designed to dissolve later in less sensitive areas of the stomach and can be taken with or without food. Ritual is made traceable, so you know exactly where your nutrients come from thanks to their one-of-a-kind visible supply chain. Your multivitamins are delivered to your door each month with free shipping, and if you don't love Ritual within your first month, they'll refund your first order. So if you want to be your best self, start today. Visit ritual.com/Rob. It's going to save you 10% off your first 3 months, right? Not just your first order, your first 3 months. And as I said, if you don't like it inside the first month, they're going to give you all your money back. So at least you tried to improve your life. So ritual.com/Rob. Visit the link in the description. All right. So rock chips, they're just a part of life, right? This car has seen many a road trip. Look, Siobhan was on Tail of the Dragon, Route 66, been all over in this car. And naturally, if you drive your car, you're going to get some rock chips, right? You look at the front. It's I mean, these holes here from the license plate, but impossible to prevent the light damage that you get on the hood. There's some rock chips. It's life. It's part of road tripping. This car doesn't really road trip so much, so it looks nice. My car is a perfect example because my car, both this and the NSX, do see a lot of rock chips. This takes it a little bit worse than I don't know, most other cars. But some cars take rocks better than others. And you may remember I was out in a huge trunk in the Ferraris, by the way. I was out in Utah and Nevada, and I rented the Mclaren 620R. Well, turns out, got some rock chips on that, and that car does not take rocks very well. And the rental company has sent me a bill for, how much you think in rock chips? Like, just assume that this car peppered with rocks and, like, I don't know, some maybe headlights, bumper, hood, and a windshield. $103,000 or $101,000. It's over $100,000 in rock chips. Now, if you think about that, it's just the numbers mind-boggling, right? Like, how do you, like, I figured a whole respray or something like that, they would come after me for $20,000. The entire, wow, I was not ready for that one. I was not sitting down for that one. So now I'm looking at over $100,000 in rock chip damage on a car, which if you just like think about that, on that McLaren, if it depreciated like most McLarens in 7 months, that may total that thing out. That same, like, just driving down the road and getting rock chips would total that car out. Now, how did they get to $100,000, right? They're instead of saying, like, we're gonna repaint this bumper, they said since it's carbon fiber, they had to replace everything. So they had to replace the windshield, replace the bumper, replace the carbon splitter, replace the headlights, replace the wheels that got curbed, and the curbed wheels were different. But like they're replacing all these parts. Just the front nose and clip was over $60,000. And I was like, wow, guys, like I honestly wasn't expecting that. I mean, I want you guys to make your car right, but I was not expecting that. So I was like, what's the play here? Can we do this? Can we get the parts? And he's like, oh, we've already fixed it. Because what my initial reaction was like, all right, $100,000. how about this? I'm just gonna get, because it was relatively a new car. It was like 1,000 miles when I got it. How much did you pay for the car? I'll just buy it off you. I'll fix it myself and sell it, right? So just give them the money that they paid for the car. They got 1,000 free rental miles out of it. They got my rental fee out of it. But by me buying the car, it's now my problem, and I'm not gonna spend $100,000 to fix that thing. I'm gonna actually fix it for, the wheels should have been fixed for 200 bucks a piece, $250 a piece, not 13,000. Like, so I was like, I'll make up the money. The market is strong right now. I'll make up the money on the reselling the car. It'll cost me 30 grand to do it, but at the end of the day, at least I won't be out. Oh, you can't do that. We fixed the car already. I'm like, whoa, you fixed the car already? Like, you just laid out $100,000? I'm like, I don't really have a choice in that matter then, because if you've already spent $100,000, it's now on me to square up with you. So the only thing I'm going to ask is I want you to give me all those parts. So if you did spend $60,000 on a front bumper and everything like that, you give them to me. And at the end of the day, I'll at least clean them up and try to sell them or hang them on my wall or whatever the case may be if they are really not fixable. But to think about going out and getting rock chips on a car, like, I would tell people never to buy a McLaren. Now, we had rented a couple of cars out there and none of them took rocks like the McLaren. Now, yes, you were driving down the road and you can see and hear the rock skipping. There's no avoiding that. It's not like we're driving through the desert and like driving off road. We just happened to be in a scenario where like rocks get kicked up and that car did not take it well. The other cars took it much better. They, the guys driving the AMG GTR, they wanted to rewrap that from rock chips, but the Ferrari 48s, all the other cars we had, the Ferrari 48s, all that, they were all fine. I'm a little, I don't know why, like, I get it. Like, I feel like I'm getting killed by these rental companies when I'm like, wait, I'm in the business, guys. I know how this works. But if they send me the parts, if they actually swap the parts, I can't even be mad. I would never, without the approval of the customer, get the car to go to that extent, right? I would never lay out 100 grand and be like, I hope his insurance is good. I hope he'll take care of it. Now, obviously, they know who I am, so they know I'm not going to deadbeat on them. But the approach to spend $100,000 to fix rock chips, I would have never in a million years expected that. Even me thinking like retail numbers, I was thinking high. I'm going to get those two wheels. I'll refinish those and sell those because the wheels weren't even an issue, right? The wheels weren't even out of round or anything like that. They were perfectly smooth. I was driving down the highway after they were curbed and there was no vibration or anything like that. So the wheels were fine. Refinishing them, and these haven't been refinished, but because I don't curb wheels usually, the refinishing these wouldn't be very expensive. It would be 150, 250 bucks depending on where you go. But 100 grand, that's a lot of money. That is a big nut to swallow for, or a hard pill to swallow. Think of whatever phrase you want to use for driving, like not hitting anything, not even getting in an accident, like just driving and causing over $100,000 in damage just from picking up rocks driving down the road. I don't know how to avoid that. That's why there's comprehensive and collision coverage on most policies. The comprehensive coverage covers, like, if this telephone pole falls on the car, right? You didn't do anything. It's just like, that's life. That's why you have comprehensive coverage. Collision coverage is if I drive the car into the telephone pole and then it falls on the car, that would be collision coverage. That would be an accident that's caused by you. I don't know, man. This is why I tell everybody to make sure they have proper insurance. Did I expect to get rock chips? No. I mean, maybe one or two, but like you usually fill those. Did I get rock chips? Absolutely. Did I expect it to be 100 grand? No, but we'll figure out what avenues I go now. I'm now going to get all these parts back, allegedly. And if I get all these parts back, I'll fix them up, paint them, sell them, and then I'll recoup some of my money back. So hopefully, ideally, or I hang it on the wall and it makes very cool wall art. So we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. Rob Ferretti, thank you for watching. Be careful out there. I think the best way to avoid that is if you're going to road trip or rental car or something like that, make sure they have a clear bra on it, or I don't know, just wrap it with something, even some painter's tape or something if you know you're going to be ripping through the desert, especially out in Vegas. But I'm going to repaint this because now I've got a couple of adventure drives on this. I'm going to repaint this and then probably wrap this one because I'm going to keep the car for a while. and I want to protect the nose. So I don't have to spend, I don't know, 20 grand to put a new bumper on it. Not that you should have to. But when you go out there, I didn't expect to hit a bird either, and I did. So you never know what you're going to do when you're out on the road. You never know what's going to happen, but you don't want to ever write that check for 100 grand to fix your car. Rob Peretti, thank you for watching. See you next. All right, thanks for watching the whole video. You know my other company, Adventure Drive. Well, we're going to go to France and Spain for our European drive this summer. That's going to be in the first week of August. And Scotland, which you've heard so much about, will again be this coming October. So check them out, adventuredrives.com. There's a link below in the description.